You know why your hands hurt. You know why your knuckles are purple and why his face looks like that. You know why your mother looks the way she does and why your daddy dearest left when he did. You also know why your fingers feel broken and why your face is numb to the impact of anything physical striking you. You've got pebbles in your joints, hardened by the years of forceful violence. You are a force of nature, a destructive pattern that follows chaos. You have turned carnage into your sanctuary and turned everyone else's sanctuaries into your absence. They feel better when you're not around. One of these days you're going to have to admit that you are the problem, that the blood you squeeze between your fingers is because of the lines you've been raised to cross. You're too scared to walk away from what you know best, this hospital, this waiting area. Not only that, but the smell of the bodily fluids that gush out of the faces of your enemies. Desiree. Duncan? You turned your head to face your mother, squinting one eye almost shut, with an eyebrow cocked up like you're ready to threaten her, the same way you're mentally picturing the bodies of those smaller than you, groveling between your ankles before you feel a familiar impact on your knuckles. Bone connected to bone. The cartilage doesn't feel as good as the bone, the blood, the smell, and the weeping victim much weaker than what you once were before your father figure. Desiree. Are you ready to get your braces? She talks to you like you're 5 years old. You've never heard this tone when you were a child. In fact, you didn't even know what your mother's real voice sounded like while growing up with your father. It's like he was her voice, her thoughts. She worshipped that man like a god, and he had to leave her just for you to be safe. He was the one who ran away when your older brother called the police. Only after several years of speech therapy did your mother even know how to communicate with you. Consider this. The reason she talks to you the way she does must possibly be because she herself wants to be talked to in the same way. You'd have no beating heart if you ever felt she was the problem. You know she was the problem from the very start. You have this other side of you that would choke your own mother, use your fists against her, but you can't bear the thought of hurting the womb that delivered you into this life. You care for her, but you hate her. You love her, but you can't find it in yourself to stay, if you were ever given the opportunity of jumping out of her presence. Desiree, you can even choose the color. She turns her head, and your throat dries out within seconds of visual contact with the other side of her face now exposed to your view. The skull looks dented inwards, the eye is almost melted shut, covered with extra layers of skin, the side of her mouth doesn't even twitch when she smiles, and that side of her jaw is almost entirely exposed. She makes you gag, she makes you swallow your saliva, she makes you breathless, scared, exhilarated, and threatened at the same time when she looks at you the way she does. It's not the fact that it looks the way it does, but rather the reason it looks the way it does. When you read about the news reports of women's skulls getting bashed in, you expected to see the corpse. She, on the opposite end of the stick, was breathing, fragments of her teeth split from her facial structure as she was spitting up blood like crying with mucus in your nasal pipe. You feel your stomach twist, a small sort of piece of euphoria within you when you rethink how you had the ability to pull your mother out of the bedroom and call an ambulance. You felt brave and indestructible. Duncan, it's gonna be a blast. You twitch your lip with sarcasm, trying to respond to your mother's childlike reaction. When your name gets called by the dentist's assistant, you lift yourself off the chair first, your mother taking your hand and pulling your wrist to pull herself up to her feet. Her joints don't work like they used to, not because of old age, but because of poorly made decisions. After the weekend, you thought you'd just go to school and get your day-to-day life over with, hearing people talking behind your back and experiencing the feeling of getting death threats behind the eyes of your classmates. If looks could kill, as they say. You will have no friends, no students, or even faculty members approach you. Not during class, not during lunch. You get handed your homework, you get handed your fuel. You're sad, Duncan, sad. Duncan, I keep hearing that. I'm not here, you're hearing things. Focus, focus on the hallway before you. Your footsteps leading you past the locker of a small girl. Her dark aesthetic mixed with gothic colors and emo clothes. She's plump, like the only orange pumpkin in a patch filled with green vines. You stare at her a little too long, slamming into one of the smaller boys from your class. You shove him hard enough to have the book slip out of his bag. A thud echoing through the hall, you realize for the first time in a while you received several students' attention after you had just shoved a short, ginger, freckle-faced teenage boy to the ground. The blue-haired boy that stood next to him, clearly the more appealing one of the two, now glaring at you. You thought you'd shrug your shoulders and snort with laughter afterwards upon passing them. But this boy curled his fingers into the palm of his hand, and before you could even twist those joints in your shoulders, you saw his white knuckles collide with your face before you went blank. You actually stumbled back, your eyes widened with shock as you were hunched over the palm of your hand, the bridge of your nose feeling the aching vibration of gravity weighing down, encouraging the swelling. The blue-haired kid was pulling his friend back up onto his feet when you thought you wouldn't let this happen. You lunged at him, grabbing his collar. You kicked your ankle, but little would that do if the bone already broke so many times that you can't even feel his sneakers. You threw him up against the locker, and he spit you in the face. The gasps in the hall were like the presence of a ghost that carries your shame. You took your knuckles and thought you'd throw your fist in his face, but his head collided with yours, your skull feeling the throbbing impact as if you've never been head-butted before. You almost dropped him, but you yanked his sweatshirt. You didn't catch him squirming out from the material, thinking he was going to run away. You were going to turn your back, but he stepped back to get enough room to kick you in the face. You've never been hit in the jaw with the back of a human's heel. Your jaw's joints don't move right as you feel the braces in your teeth connecting to the soft flesh of your inner cheek. Your teeth felt like they've been rearranged. You spit the blood out of your mouth as you twist your head to the side. You attempt to run up to him. He jumps, slipping over his kneel-down friend, and he hit his jaw against the floor. You jumped on top of the blue-haired boy, hearing screaming coming from all sides, everyone, including girls and seniors, begging you to stop, screaming for you to get off of him, but none of them have the guts to challenge your size, until the sound of a whistle shatters your tense focus. You pull your head up, students separating as the gym teacher strides down the hall. He's got a whole foot ahead of your head, and you don't have the authority to challenge him the same way you can intimidate your other teachers. He glares down at you, his cheeks sucked in by his teeth. He points to the staircase. Duncan, he hit me! Coach, both of you to the principal's office. Duncan, but he hit me! Coach, now! You crawled off the blue-haired curse, fully aware that this incident is much more than just a squabble, and you feel the principal will automatically choose the other boy's side because of your reputation. He did hit you first. You were in the right. He was in the wrong. How could he blame you? How could he get away with hitting you for no reason and then kicking you in the jaw? How dare he? Principal Olive, there's something not entirely justifiable here, Duncan. Did I just say Duncan? Wait, Duncan. Exactly, he punched me. Principal Olive, I meant you, Duncan. Darius has asthma. Duncan, what the hell is that? Principal Olive, Duncan, I swear you're 2 words away from receiving suspension. Duncan, suspension? For what? I thought I was getting detention. Principal Olive, you'll automatically receive detention as you provoked Mr. Delit into defending Mr. Darius. Duncan, screw you. Principal Olive, you'll have a 3-day suspension. Leave my office. Delit, whoa, that really was 2 words. Delit's eyes widened when he felt a whistle slipping past his teeth. His speech slurred and sort of blurred to his ears. You watch as he reaches into his mouth, his fingers poking a crack on his front tooth. You twitch your eye, remembering when your mother had to go to a dentist to get her teeth replaced. You turn away, throwing the chair you were sitting in back. The back of the chair hits the ground as you swipe the suspension slip off the principal's desk. He raises a brow as you turn your back to him. When you leave the office, you can still hear the principal talking to Delit. You groan in your throat, vibrating in your ears. Your mother's disappointment isn't worth that much to your ego, is it? Duncan, who do you think you are, judging me? You're talking to yourself again. Must be all that isolation. Can't really say it's not your fault. Your eyebrows cross, deepening a soft crack shaping in the middle of your brows. Your lashes flutter in the setting sun as you make your way back home. Your feet kicking the dirt and your hands gripping your pockets. You were seconds from showing that kid who's boss, but instead here you are walking home from the principal's office, while your tongue is playing with a piece of food in your mouth. You try biting through it, thinking it must be part of the chicken bone you bit through during lunch. You roll it around in your cheek and then in your mouth. The feeling is like a pebble in between the texture of your teeth, like scraping porcelain together. It hurts your skeleton, not only your teeth, but your head as well. The feeling leaves your jaw in pain and a reminder of the swelling in the middle of your face. You put your fingers in your mouth and pinch a piece of bone. It's like pottery, porcelain, or a piece of your skeleton. Your tongue swerves across the surface of your teeth. Your tongue caught in the gap of one of your back teeth, chipped like a coat of fresh paint on a car. The chip is small, but it cuts your tongue enough for you to note that he purposefully ruined your mouth with the heel of his foot. If you caught that foot in your hands, you would twist it the whole way round. You spit on the pavement, the metallic taste, a reminder of your defeat, and the numbness in the nerves of your face. Struggling to shift from fat skin, trying to protect you from the healing process to be successful. You will not and cannot go home like this. You hear that familiar whistle of the tooth, the tongue almost sounding like it's sitting outside of his mouth while he's talking to his ginger friend. You stayed long enough to watch the students pass him. You're the size of the oldest tree in the forest. You stand out from all the sprouts that aspire to be the same size as you, yet the sprout in the back of the forest fails to notice your mighty tower of a body as you approach Delit from behind. Your fingers curling the fabric within the pockets of your pants. You can feel the pockets stretching, the threads protesting but essentially weakening on your grip with the amount of rage boiling inside of your chest. You're boiling, blood is throbbing your heart in and out of your chest, pulling it back in and then throwing it against your ribs, while the blood is rushing to your head like a pot of boiling water. You have seething rage for a boy that's not even half your size, but you stop halfway when they get approached by the girl you caught standing in front of her locker, small and grounded, just like you found her. It wouldn't be worth it, but you can't help wondering if maybe you should. Duncan, what do you think? I think you should turn around. You have a better shot at catching him off guard tomorrow.